Alright, so here we have the chart here for Dogecoin. And I wanted to show everybody that it went perfectly with how I drew it, like, what, like 5 days ago, 5 or 6 days ago. I'm talking about these lines right here, these white ones, these ones that I like drew as a mirror to the ones that are way back here, which I've drawn so many lines here that the computer, it like wigs out whenever I pull up this chart. It doesn't know how to like move it around. See, yeah, it's like moving. I tried to move it and it was like eh. But once again, what happened here was I just drew these lines and I put them to this Saturn line here, the Saturn trine series, which has been phasing out. I mean, there was a whole bunch of things that caused this like high on Friday night. But I think it's interesting that, I said there was going to be two peaks, but there was, what it really was the first peak was bigger than it was expected, and then it fell down to the next peak, and then it just kind of like crashed through it, but then popped back up. So, and the best way I could explain that was this blue line here, which is a very large Venus transit that hit exact right at the bottom of it, and it went up, and then it continued back on this trend. And I don't know what astrological transits represent these white lines, but I'm almost positive if I just searched and searched, I would find one that almost exactly lines up with those. I'm not sure whether or not I really want to go through the trouble of doing that. Would prove what I just said, it would prove that this could have been, predicted entirely with like astrological aspects instead of just like trying to mirror it to the past run-up. But I think what's interesting as well is before, I just kind of like, here, I moved this one. This one actually was here. That was the original spot it was in, as you can see. That's why it makes that little peak. See, I drew these two little peaks, right? Coming off of this one, go all the way down here. Here, you can't see it. My head's in the way. And I was still wigged out. Move over. But I moved that line up because I was like, well, what if I had drawn this one if I had just said that, like, I should line it up with this Saturn line? Because I was like, that peak should have been higher, technically. There it goes. So yeah, there, and what is that? That is the 511. That's noon tomorrow. All right. So let's see if it's down below 40 cents. I don't think it's going to be below. I mean, look at it. I mean, it could come down more. We have this line right here that looks like, see, like this one right here. This one is it, maybe. Maybe this one I drew not sharp enough. This is a Neptune transit. Or no, not Neptune. It must be Uranus. The dark blue. That's the way I color code it. So yeah, I mean, like this one I just kind of projected way back here. What is it? Where does it start? Way back here, yeah. This one was on the 7th. So 4 days ago now, yeah, I saw this transit and I was like, this one looks not so good. We're already way up here. I really don't, and it's so long. It's such a long, this is the thing. This transit's length time lets me analyze it in a way and predict it. So it's like, gosh, you can't really see it. There it is. Ah, there's so many lines. But yeah, so I was like, it's not gonna go way up there unless it's $1, over $1, by like now, which was a lot of people were thinking was gonna happen. But I was like, it's a Neptune transit and it's a negative Neptune transit. Like, that seems more like it would be the end of a delusion. You know what I mean? But it's also like it's going down here. But I think like I just didn't put it negative enough. I didn't like think it was gonna drop that hard. I guess that much. I didn't trust that it should be closer. I was starting to think it wasn't gonna get that close to this line here, but it is. So let's see, and let's make it Now the way I do this is I'll line it up to the top. See, since I think it's a down line, I should make it look like it's some sort of resistance. Oh wait a minute, what was that? Control Z. What was the time frame? What was that? Needs to move 4 p.m. Okay, so move 4 p.m. perfectly down. All right, and let's see, like there. Let's do it like that. Yeah, I mean, what? That's the here. That's the bottom. That's the bottom line. 40. What is it? It bottomed at what? 42, 43. Yeah. There we go. That makes more sense. And that is on the 12th. All right. So maybe it's gonna dip down a little more here. Who knows? Maybe it's gonna come up here like that. You know. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out, that this wasn't entirely not true. And also I wanted to pull up this other thing like they have with this rainbow graph thing. I love this rainbow graph. This is just the funnest thing to look at. It's on a different site. But this is interesting. Like look at like a this is not astrology. I'm starting to do non-astrology stuff. Like I want to make them all correlate together. So, but then I started noticing, like, I started using this gann rainbow graph thing, and it kind of looks like, it kind of goes along with what I'm saying, because it's like, look, it's right here on this one, and what is that? That's here, right? So what I'm saying is kind of maybe go, I mean, a little bit maybe. It might not. It might go like up here then down. Who knows? But you know, and then it's gonna kind of go off here probably because this is gonna this one is going to go up from this point if that's the correct point. It'll go up from there, you know. And then if you look here, that's what it kind of looks like here. It kind of looks like I'm saying it's like that's a red zone where it's not gonna go, and then it's gonna go up from there, and maybe up in here, and then you know. But this is what's also, this is what I really wanted to make the video about. I've been saying that Saturn retrograde is going to happen, and on the 23rd. And then I kind of like saw like there was a bunch of convergence of all these like rainbow fan lines, uh, right here, So I was like, maybe there's gonna be another spike there, you know. But I put that there before I realized just earlier that's like right getting really close to the Saturn retrograde. Look at that. It's like really, really close. Cause like this thing right here, like look, it's just I put it there. You see that where these things cross? That's where I put the point, and then I just kind of played with it, and was like maybe it's gonna be get back up here. The yellow part is kind of where it's like ooh dangerous. It's like it doesn't really like this. It looks like where it's I have a guess now, like it could go down here, but it's like look, it's just like these rainbow things. It just like the further you go down here, it's like nah, this is like bear period, I guess. I don't know, but I kind of look. I see that happening. That is on the 19th, 1 a.m. And it's like right correlating with what it is right now, you know. So it's like don't expect Doge to change much for like a week really. It might go up and down maybe. It might even come back up here again. Who knows? But I think it's gonna come back down there. That's what I'm just kind of seeing there anyway. What do we have? It's like Yeah, 19. Yeah, look, they might go up here, yeah, and then come back down on the 19th. But I think the Saturn retrograde is going to be a turning point, and that happens over here, more or less, the 23rd. Yeah. I need to draw some more aspect lines. But I'm going to keep the video short. I just want to point that out. That the current trend is correlating to like the Saturn retrograde. Like it's gonna retrograde back. Like it's probably gonna make some of the same angles it did before. It's probably gonna have another spike in the later in the month. It's gonna have like, I think it's gonna have a tiny spike over the next few days. One that like people are thinking, oh, it's going back to 70 cents, and doesn't. It just kind of gets up in there in the 50, 60 cents, and then it comes back down. But then right here, maybe it does kind of go up, and then maybe, oh yeah, and it goes here maybe, and then it really goes up. It goes up here. It kind of like look, see where that kind of like goes. And it kind of tests that spot right there, and then it comes down Saturn retrograde maybe. You know, that's what I'm thinking. My best guess.